I've never opened a set with this before. It was Dave's idea. And since Kathy and Rick are leaving us for Parts West in the near future, this is my last opportunity to do this in official capacity. This is Kathy's favorite song that I do. Does God look down on the boys in the barroom, mainly forsaken but surely not judged? Jacks, kings, and aces, their faces in wine. Do Lord deliver our kind from singing for whiskey, 3 strings on the fiddle, 4 on the guitar, and a song that I love. Many's the night spent laughing and singing in hopes it be pleasing both here and above. Jack string fiddle to my sawtooth bow. Who loves loneliness loves it alone. I love the dim lights like some love the dew. The only thing I wonder sometimes is, does God look down on the boys in the barroom, mainly forsaken but surely not judged? Jacks, kings, and aces, their faces in wine. Do Lord deliver our kind. I actually saw a couple of deadheads out there sing along. It's by Robert Hunter.
That's right, so there's a few deadheads.
One of the rare ones that Jerry Garcia never did. Dave Sherman, Andy Koenig are back.
A little more guitar in the monitor. Yeah, that's good.
We good? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got everything she needs. She's an artist, she don't look back. She's got everything she needs. She's an artist, she don't look back. She'll take the dark out of the nighttime and paint the daytime black.
You'll start out standing, proud to steal her anything she sees. You'll start out standing, proud to steal her anything she sees. You wind up peeking through a keyhole, down upon your knees.
Well, she never stumbles. She's got no place to fall. She never stumbles. She's got no place to fall. She's nobody's child. The law can't touch her at all. On Sunday, salute her when her birthday comes. Bow down to her on Sunday, salute her when her birthday she needs. She's an artist, she don't look back. She's got everything she needs. She's an artist, she don't look back. She'll take the dark out of the nighttime, paint the daytime black. She'll take the dark out of the nighttime, paint the daytime black.
That was an original song.
They were all original at one time.
That's right. Some guy from Minnesota.
Make sure my F sharp's okay. We ready, boys? Take a deep breath. I forgot. You have instructions. You've got a part in this. Every time I sing ashes, ashes fall, all fall down, you follow it with ashes, ashes, all fall down. You'll see. Picture a bright blue ball just spinning, spinning free, dizzy with eternity. Painted with the skin of sky, brushing some clouds in the sea. Call it home for you and me. Peaceful place, or so it looks from space. But a closer look reveals the human race. Full of hope, full of grace is the human face. Unafraid, we will lay our home to waste. There's a fear down here we can't forget. Hasn't got a name just yet. Always awake, always around. Singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Watches the ball revolves and the nighttime falls. And again the hunt begins, and again the blood wind calls. By and by again the morning sun will rise, but the darkness never goes from some men's eyes. Oh no, no, it strolls the sidewalks and it rolls the streets, staking turf, dividing up meat. Nightmares spook, piece of heat. It's you and me, you and me. Hey, click flash blade in the ghetto night. Rudy's looking for a fight. Rat cat alley, roll them bones. Need that cash to feed that Jones. And the politicians throwing stones, singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Commissars and pinstripe bosses roll the dice. Anyway they fall, guess who gets to pay the price? Money green, proletarian gray. Drill for oil, rape the earth today. So the kids they dance, they shake their bones, and the politicians throwing stones, singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Heartless powers tried to tell us what to think. If the spirit's sleeping, then the flesh is ink. History's page has been neatly carved in stone. The future's here. We are it. We are on our own. We are on our own. We are on our own. If the game is lost and we're all the same, no one left to place or take the blame. We may leave this place an empty stone, or that shining ball of blue that we could call our home. So the kids, they dance, they shake their bones, and the politicians throwing stones, singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Shooting powders back and forth. Well, the black goes south and the white comes north. In a whole world full of petty wars, singing I got mine and you got yours. And the current fashion set the pace. Lose your step, fall out of grace. And the radically red enrage, singing someone's got to turn the page. And a rich man in his summer home, singing justly well enough alone. But his pants are down, his cover's blown. And the politicians throwing stones, so the kids, they dance and shake their bones, 'cause it's all too clear we're on our own, singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Picture a bright blue ball just spinning, spinning free. It's dizzying, the possibilities. Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
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 Singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Singing ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down. Ashes, ashes, all fall down. Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
Ashes, ashes, all fall down.
I'm in the wrong guitar. That's right. Does it sound in tune, Mike? All right, Mike says it sounds in tune. I could live with that. That last one was Grateful Dead. Bob Weir and John Barlow wrote that.
Another original song.
Another original song. And this last one, believe it or not, is by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Yeah. That's a gutsy kind of move, huh? All right. She looked at me across the moon, emerging from a silk cocoon, alone beneath Venetian chandelier. Against the moon her body rocks, her eyes are cunning like a fox, the wings of passion fly on all frontiers. From this fire there's no returning, no escape, your heart is burning. Love becomes a lethal weapon, no one is too smart in affairs of the heart. In affairs of the heart. Now upon the bridge she waits, dreaming of our tangled fates. Her face is like a ghost with eyes of jade. I fell just like a falling star, a victim of this coup d'etat. I could not see behind this masquerade. From this fire there's no returning, no escape, your heart is burning. Love becomes a lethal weapon, careful where you start in affairs of the heart. In affairs of the heart. In affairs of the heart. Sometimes I think I'll never learn. Were all those promises in vain? Do the wings of fire still remain? All is fair in love and war. The tender draw a shorter straw. Like autumn leaves they vanish in the air. This is the time we say goodbye. I call her room, there's no reply. Tonight we end this fleeting love affair. From this fire there's no returning, no escape, your heart is burning. Love becomes a lethal weapon, sharper than a dart in affairs of the heart. In affairs of the heart. In affairs of the heart. In affairs of the heart.
Scooter and Friends. And if you'll indulge me for just a minute, I'd like to make one more plug for the Folk Project. And the best possible plug that I can make is Scooter and Friends. This is 3-4 friends from the Folk Project. This is what we do on Saturday nights. This is what we do on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights. And it's just absolutely wonderful to get together and blend your talents and meet other people and play with other people. $20 a year. We welcome you. Coming up at the Minstrel, we have some wonderful stuff coming up. First of all, speaking of Scooter, or Fabian as he will now be known, second Friday of every month is an open stage hosted by Scooter. Wonderful place to take new material for a spin, or to try performing for the first time, or just hear your friends perform.
Except not in August.
Except not in August. Okay. I'm so glad I have an editor. Let's see, next week.
This one in August, but not on the second Friday.
Okay, check the website. This is way over my pay grade at this point. But coming up next week, an evening of great music and bad taste with the Dirty Birdies Jug Band. Yeah, and also the Folk Project's own Katie Weiss. So that should be great. And then the following week, I want to tell you a little bit about this, the Folk Project birthday show. And this is a blast every year. Basically what we do is we match people together utterly randomly, totally without any regard to whether or not they're compatible. To those of you who grew up in the 70s, this will sound very familiar. The results are sometimes disastrous, sometimes wonderful, but always entertaining, and it's a great chance to meet a whole bunch of the Folk Project and hear a bunch of your friends perform. Jumping ahead, October 21, I think it is, Folk Road Warriors Steve Gillette and Cindy Manxon. January of next year, Vance Gilbert, who has so much ability that it's just not fair. So just keep an eye on us because there's great music here pretty much every Friday night. I certainly don't have to tell you how good the Shockenaw Mountain Boys are, especially at this point, but little things tell you a lot. And if you remember, Johnny Grubb sang a song in the first set. And as they were getting ready, Johnny Grubb turned and said, C sharp. In my experience, singers who ask for C sharp get keel-hauled. And these guys didn't bat an eyelash. Please welcome back the Shockenaw Mountain Boys.
Yeah, Johnny's still hiding those marks on his back, but
I might as well tell the story of this song, right? We got asked to do the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival, and I used to be in the house band there for, I don't know, 5 years or so. And one of my favorite songwriters used to play the festival all the time, Dave Carter and Tracy Brown. A couple of weeks before we were to, I think Railroad Earth was to play it for the first time. I believe it was the first time we played it, right? Dave suddenly had a heart attack and he was no longer with us. And Ann Saunders called me up and said, hey, we're trying to get everybody to do a Dave Carter song. So I said, okay, well, I'll go through and look at some of the stuff. And so she gave me a list of the songs that everybody else was doing, and I noticed this tune that we're going to do was not on it. I said, hey, nobody's doing When I Go. She's like, nobody has the balls to do it.
Always one for a challenge, Tim Carbone.
Chieftain and king, I will fly like the falcon when I go. Bear me, my brother, under your wing. I will strike fell like lightning when I go. I will bellow like the thunder drum, invoke the storm of war, a twisting pillar spun of dust and blood up from the prairie floor. I will sweep the foe before me like the gale out on the snow, and the wind will long recount the story, reverence and glory when I go. Spring spirit dancer, nimble limping, I will leap like coyote when I go. Childless kiss and trancer. Lend me your skin, I will run like the gray wolf when I go. I will climb the rise of daybreak, I will kiss the sky at noon, raise my yearning voice at midnight to my mother in the moon. I will make the lay along the feet and draw the chorus slow. I'll send this message down the wire and hope that someone wise is listening when I go. The sun comes trumpets from his red house in the east. He will find a standing stone where long I chanted my release. He will send his morning messenger to strike the hammer blow. I will crumble down uncountable in showers of crimson rubies when I go. Simon, sister, whisper in turn. I will rattle like dry leaves when I go. Stand in the mist where my fire used to burn. I will camp on the night breeze when I go. And should you glimpse my wandering form out on the borderline between death and resurrection and the council of the pines, do not worry for my comfort, do not sorrow for me so. All your diamond tears will rise up and adorn the sky beside me when I go.
How's a tune called Through the Gates? Which thought it was a good tune to do after When I Go.
It's a tune by Russ Barenberg. And I know he's from the Hudson Valley. He's probably living in Nashville like everybody else, but brings up a small detail a friend of mine cleared up for me on the road one time. This band we play with all the time, Great American Taxi, Vince we were hanging out backstage jamming, and I kept calling these tunes, and he's like, that's a New York tune. I start playing it. I call another one, I go, that's a New England tune. And finally turns to me and goes, I get what it is now. You guys are a New England band. All your tunes are from New England. That's why I don't know any of this stuff. And I was like, took some guy from Colorado to clear that up for me. Then I knew I didn't know any of his tunes either. I was like, speaking out west, this is a song about out west, I think.
Yeah, this was a great book written by a gentleman who wrote two great books. One of them really spectacular called A River Runs Through It. Norman MacLean. He wrote another book. His only other book that he wrote was called Young Men and Fire. And it was about the Dry Gulch Fire in 1949, I think. Well, that's what it says in the song anyway. So. But this Canadian songwriter, James Keelahan, or Keelahan, whatever. Is that how you say it? Keelahan? Okay. He wrote this great song called Cold Missouri Waters that was covered by, like, probably the first folk supergroup besides, the original supergroup, Pete Seeger and all those guys. Cry, Cry, Crying. They did a great version of it. Cold Missouri Waters. It's a true story. Really sad story. I remember the first time I heard the song, I cried my eyes out. My name is Dodge, but you know that it's written on the chart there at the foot end of the bed. They think I'm blind, I can't read it, but I've read it every word, and every word it says is death. So confession, is that the reason why you came? Get it off my chest while I check out of the game. Now that you mention it, there's 13 things I'll name, 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri waters. August 49, North Montana. It's the hottest day on record, and the forest tend to dry. Lightning strikes in the mountains. I was crew chief at the jump base. I prepared the boys to fly. I picked the chop zone. C-47 comes in low. I see the circle of the fire down below. I feel a tap on the leg that tells you go. 15 of us dropped above the cold Missouri waters. I gauged the fire. I've seen bigger. So I ordered them to side hill. We fighting from below. We'd have our back to the river. Have it licked by morning, even if we took it slow. But the fire clown jumped the valley just ahead. There's no way down. Headed for that ridge instead. Too big to fight it. I'm gonna fight that slope instead. Ain't us made above the cold Missouri water. The fire turned red, smoke was boiling. 200 yards to safety, death was 50 yards behind. I don't know why, I just thought it. Struck a match to waist high grass, running out of time. I tried to tell him, help me to this fire admit, we can't make it. This is the only chance you'll get. Too big to fight it, we're gonna fight that sun said. Flames one step behind above the cold Missouri water.
And when I rose like the phoenix, and the world turned to ashes, there was none but to survive. I'd stay that night, one day after, carried bodies to the river, wondering how that I'd survive. 13 stations of the cross to mark their fall. I've had my say, I confess to nothing more. I'm gonna join them, those that left me long before. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri waters. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri shore. Story, and I mess up the words at the end there, but he improvises on the fly. He's got a 3,000-degree fire that's chasing him at about 100 miles an hour, or however fast. You just know where you're outrunning it. And they make their way into a small little clearing with waist-high grass. And he said, "Whoa, wait a minute." He lights a match and lights the tinder dry. Lights it, goes right up, and he says, "Come on, guys, lay down in this fire." And they're like, "You're crazy." And everyone that kept going was turned to ashes, dust. He and one other guy laid down. They got burned, but they saved their own lives. Man, he just thought of that. That was like just out of the blue. Wait a minute, and the fire sucks all the oxygen out. The big fire doesn't have any fuel, so it goes around it.
And that's now standard practice.
That now it's standard practice. And good old Dodge. He got a keyhole. Well, now the song wasn't a C sharp, but. Are we doing the flowers? Yeah. I just think thank God for these little gizmos, you know, I'm telling you. Troubles track them in the land of Isle. They can't go back unless they face the fire. I felt so far from home that blooms like a flower between the stones. We met in Ironstown, Washington Heights. She sold me 10 records with a smile, but a laugh was my delight. Took me out to see Frankie Gavin. What a sound, what a sight. Asked me if I had a place to stay, and if not, well, I'll stay with her that night. Trouble tracked them in the land of I. They can't go back unless they space the fire. I fell in love with such a one, so far from home that blooms like a flower between the stones. And so we started up, would not slow down. She told me about a home in County Clare where we'd be walking by the cows by now. We laughed and loved more than a little, more than immigration allowed. She never called, she never nagged. She seemed to know in her bones just how. But troubles tracked them in the land of I. They can't go back unless they face the fire. I fell in love with such a one, so far from home that bloomed like a flower between the stones. Well, things started to click. Went out with my band, put a little tour together, more than a 3-night stand. Well, I was gone a month, but I came back again. The record shop was boarded up, it was boarded up. I never saw her again. But troubles tracked her to the land of I, where she went back, I suppose, to face the fire. I fell in love with her, though I did not know. Would she bloom again like a flower between the stones?
listening and digging what we're doing. Man, I made a bad mistake and not coming up here again without any water. What a drag. You don't mind my typhoid?
I'll do a song about my brother right now. A song that, as far as he knows, was on Muzak on Air Force One. A while ago.
Reagan.
I don't know if they're playing country music on Air Force One right now. They said the time will heal all pain, but here I am again, lying awake in a deep dark night, dreaming I'm holding you tight. It's been years since I've seen your face. I long to kiss your lips. I pray that we lay in a warm embrace. Darling, it just ain't right. It was the same old sad refrain that soon I'd love again, but I never found another one to replace your memory. And so I lie awake and dream where you might be, out on that lonely highway in some lonesome town far away. Lonely highway in some lonely place. Out on that lonely highway in some lonesome town far away. Lonely highway someday soon I'll find you, living from day to day. I just can't seem to break away. I just can't leave this dead old town. Everywhere your face I see, in my mind you're running wild, living free. Out on that lonely highway in some lonesome town far away. Lonely highway in some lonesome town far away. Lonely highway in some lonesome town far away. Lonely highway. Last winter, Johnny Grubb and I did a little micro tour up the Hudson Valley with a bunch of friends of ours, George Kilby Jr. and some musicians from New York. And one of them was Tal Seeger. And he turned me on to this next song that, as he says, is unfortunately just as relevant now as it ever was. I think he found it in a Depression-era songbook. Yeah, he's got a few of those, yeah. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. I just want the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. I don't want your Rolls Royce, mister. I don't want your pleasure yacht. I just want some food for my family. Give me back my job again. I know you've got land deed, mister. I know that all the money's in your name. But where's the work that you did, mister? I'm demanding back my old job again. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. I just want the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. You can think me down if you want, mister. Call me green, blue, or red. One thing I know for sure, mister. This hungry baby must be fed. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. I just want the right to live, mister. job again. Give me back my job again.
Listen, with these guys, an encore is a foregone conclusion. So rather than making him get down and come back up, let's just let him play. Okay? Thank you for coming out. Please come back and see us. And please feed the Creole.
Don't worry, guys. We don't have a curfew.
I thought we were going to 11, so it's 10:44. So.
11:15.
All right.
Sure, a jam band fan. Wait, who is that?
I knew you were here somewhere.
Let's pull an all-nighter.
All right, let's get some more coffee going. All right, so we're gonna do a medley, a schmedley of fiddle tunes.
Those, New England fiddle tunes we were talking about.
Yeah, there they are.
Ones that only we know.
Yeah. It's not C-sharp.
Thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate it. John Skian, Johnny Grubb, Andy Gessling. My name's Tim Carbone with the Shockenaw Mountain Boys.